Yeah, well, big up DJ Jammers. You're tuned into the Jam Master Show on Bless Radio. Glamour Kid said that. Say, ooh, ooh.
See, the work we have to do. We have to get more black men to come out. I mean, what's your thought about your thing about prostate and health and your thing?
Well, I'm going to be more, as I say, I'm not a scholar, so I'm going to be generalistic in it. But basically, what it is, it's our consciousness. You know, we're working on passive consciousness, where somebody is dictating what we're supposed to be conscious of. Where we now, this is what the area that I'm moving into is active consciousness, where we're becoming conscious of ourselves, where we're actually taking control of our vehicle. And talking about vehicles, black man is more interested in the state of his motor vehicle, you know, or the clothes that he's wearing, or the jewellery, or his business, and doesn't take care of his own vehicle, which is his life-sustaining forces, his body. And this is the problem, is that we're not looking at our body in a way that we need to be in charge of what happens in our body, you know. Part of us have been trained that we need to go to some kind of medical person, or we leave it even to the woman, or whatever. Even as children, we're brought up that your mother will take care of it, or you go to the doctor. So I think we've got a call coming through. Yes, got a call coming through.
Oh, sorry.
Hello, caller.
Greetings.
Greetings, Brother Doug. It's Lyndon here, Lyndon Wissart.
Yeah, how you keeping, man? You good?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm very good.
Okay, then we didn't mention that you're going to talk about diabetes, because we were touching a little bit about the prostate cancer, right?
Yes.
As you know, it's a very serious thing, and I know that you've been work with Errol. In fact, I don't even know where the Errol got an award.
Yes, I saw it. Yes.
Yeah, he got some big award and etc. But as you're talking about diabetes, and as Jammers made a very interesting point about the health, about the consciousness. You're saying
about how we look at ourselves as in perspective of in relation to the objects that we've got around us. We're more interested in our car or our house or our business rather than the state of affairs with running our own vehicle, which sustains our life force.
And that's the body, yeah.
Yes. And
I think what you find, some people think it's more difficult to run and look after the body more than they think, because it's just simple little changes that they need to adapt to and understand what can help them to make those changes.
What are these changes that you're talking about that can help people to run their own body in a certain way?
In a sense, like for me personally, when I was reversing my type 2 diabetes, I focused on foods that would help me. And a lot of the foods that would help me in the beginning, I was not used to them. For example, like okra, cinnamon, bitter gourd, which is I think called chlorella, turmeric, all these things that I wasn't taking on a regular basis. But after a year of including these things in my diet and other vegetables and fruits as well, it became like a habit now.
Okay, then, yeah.
It becomes a habit. It's like in the mornings, one of my normal habits is like having lemon water. Yeah, fresh lemon water. It becomes a habit now. And I think that people have to understand, if you're going to have like fresh lemon water in the morning, what's it going to do to the body? What's it going to do to your body?
What does it do for the uninitiated?
When I first find out, I had a fatty liver. And somebody told me that you have fresh lemon water in the morning that will help you reduce the fat around your liver.
How many lemons do you have in relation to this lemon water?
I have maybe one lemon to like 500 ml of water.
Right. In relation to what Sebi says about the lemon and the lime, is there anything in that?
Not specifically, because I found out about Dr. Sebi really after I was cured or reversed my diabetes.
Right, okay.
There's so much I've learned after I done my journey.
Wow.
I found out about moringa afterwards, apple cider vinegar, bitter gourd, which is chlorella, which helps reduce the blood sugars naturally, and there's other like baobab as well.
Right.
But I found out about these things after I reversed my diabetes. So I reversed my diabetes in a layman's term, just basically cutting out carbohydrates.
And what would you say are carbohydrates for the uninitiated?
Well, through pasta, rice, potatoes, and lots of biscuits and things like this. It's mostly flour-based stuff as well.
So all the good stuff you're saying, yeah?
All the good stuff, yeah.
I'm only joking.
the weakness stuff.
Right, you know, in relation to the raw, is the taste bitter on most of these foods? I'm just checking.
Yeah, well, bitter gourd, is other known as bitter lemon, bitter melon. And the Asians, they call it chlorella as well.
Right.
This is very bitter. Yeah. Also with okra water, it's very bitter as well.
Right.
It's bitter because we're not used to it.
Right.
Our palate is not used to it. And even now today, I'm drinking okra water with bitter gourd, and I infuse it with some fresh lemon and cinnamon to enhance the flavour.
Yeah.
It still doesn't taste great, but I'm used to it now. In the sense that I'm having something that I know it's going to help me.
Because it does seem, remember, like medicine, when your mama used to give you medicine, it's always like the bitter, the one that didn't taste good was the one that was the one that was to work on you, you know?
Exactly. I remember with my aunt, when we used to go to her house, she used to give us just tea, no milk, no sugar, nothing. And she'd go, Lyndon, drink this tea, it's good for you. You know, just a normal tea is good for you to cleanse the body. Right. And this is what I used to do. My mum always said to me, Lyndon, have your bitters.
Right.
Have your bitters. And now I have my bitters, but consciously, I didn't know about it before.
But you know what's interesting to jump in here, that I mean, our parents, our grandparents, and great they got it right, because you know that when it comes to the holidays, 6 weeks holidays, right, we have to take this vulgar, violent taste, you know what I mean? And they say, what the heck?
It's this,
just take this thing out, wash short. They call it the wash short.
A wash short, laxative, yeah.
But people don't take them thing there again, no. You know what I mean? Or talk about them thing there. See?
No.
Yeah.
One day I find there's a thing called Psyllium husk, which is a husk which it cleans the intestines. Okay. It cleans it out.
Can you say that? Can you say what it's called again? The what husk?
Psyllium husk.
Because for some of the laymen, it seems like you're speaking Swahili, you see. So when you say these terms, you have to say 2 or 3 times, you know.
But you can find this on my website or in my book.
Okay, what is your website and what is your book?
The website is lyndonwissart.com.
How do you spell your second name?
Wissart. My first name is Lyndon, Lyndon.
Yes.
And Wissart is WISS for sugar, ART.
Right.
.com, yeah.
And what's your book?
My book's called The Inspired Diabetic.
Inspired Diabetics. And where can this book be purchased?
Everywhere.
Oh, good.
Everywhere you can get it purchased.
Have you got a basic? Sorry to cut you. Have you got a basic, like, to get the layman up and running? You said lemon in the morning, lemon water. Have you got some other basic things that someone can get up and running with? Can you suggest something?
The number one thing that I would say to people is to get your mindset right. Are you ready to make a change?
How do you get your mindset right?
You need to look at the foods that you're going to eat. Yes. So I do 4 things: mindset, diet, exercise, and fasting. Yeah.
Say them 5 things. Those things again. Very important.
Mindset.
Yeah.
Diet. Exercise. And fasting.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you go back into the mindset again? What do you mean by mindset?
The mindset is, what are you ready to do? If you know what your blood sugar levels are, and you're not happy where you are you ready to make a commitment to yourself to reversing it? Are you making a commitment to yourself to cut down on the carbohydrates, cut down on your potatoes, your rice, your pasta, cut down on your fizzy drinks, all these sugary things, all the high sugar fruit that you eat on a regular basis? All these things, you need to get your mindset right to say, okay, am I ready to do what it takes? And to do what it takes, it's temporary. It's not a long term, it's short term. Because the short term is doing what needs to be done to get yourself back into the right state of sugar levels so that you can maintain your diet, go back to a normal diet, but have it in moderation.
What could you say to somebody who's, to put them in the mindset, who's enjoying the junk food, the sugar, the kebabs and the Kentucky and the McDonald's? What can you say to alert the alarm bells to put them in the mindset that they need to change?
Go and get a blood test.
Right.
Go and get a blood test and see where you are. When I was diagnosed, I had all the symptoms of type 2 diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had itchy genitals, and I thought it could have been anything. I had blurred vision. Yeah, so every time I looked at something, my eyes was blurry. I couldn't see properly.
And so
also.
Diabetics keep it. So is it basically sugar? Is it basically sugar?
Yes, mostly.
For type 2, yes.
So it's basically the effects that sugar has on the body. Is that?
Yes, type 2.
Right.
Basically, what happens? The sugar blocks up the blood cells, the vessels. Yeah, and like at the feet, it doesn't circulate down to the bottom of the feet.
Right.
So what happens there? Because there's no circulation down there, it clogs up. And then, like people, they tend to lose their limbs due to this.
Wow.
They do, yeah.
And why does it affect us more than any other race?
Because of our diet.
Or is it because of our body, the makeup of our body, is it? Or is it? Or it's our diet, actually, you're saying, yeah?
It's a diet, it's food. But don't forget, as Caribbean people, most of our food is carbohydrates, yeah, and sugars, yeah. Like on a plate, we'll have rice. Yeah, okay. We'll have the macaroni cheese, and we'll have roast potatoes. Yeah, potatoes. We'll all on the same plate. It's all carbohydrates. And then we'll have a fizzy drink. Like me, I'd have a mango juice, or I'll have a ginger beer.
So, sorry. Could you just what is the makeup of a carbohydrate? What is it about the carbohydrate that gives us this problem?
Well, the carbohydrates turns into sugars into the body.
Right.
It does. This is what carbohydrates do. Carbohydrates, they get into the system and they turn into sugar.
Okay, so you can think you're stopping eating sugar, but when you're eating the carbohydrate, it's sneaking into your body and becoming that sugar. Right.
I wonder if I could just jump in there because Jamas asked a very good question about the whole thing about the carbs, right? And and the question was James asked the question, why does it affect mostly Caribbean, right?
Yeah.
And I like the way you answer the question to that, because our diet, right? But James, if you observe, right? You see, in the Caribbean, we can get away a lot because of the sun, and running up and down the place and whatever. We're quite active. We can get away, but here, there's no sun at all, and so what's happening is that most of our diet is based around carbs, like for example rice, yam, dumpling, and all them something there. See, pure carbs.
And,
we don't.
And it's every day.
That's it. It's every single day.
It's every single day. And this is the thing. I've spoken to Asian people, about me cutting out carbohydrates, cutting out rice, and they said, listen, I can't cut out rice. We eat that every day. And they're eating like white rice every day. Some of them eating like basmati rice, which is very high in starch, which is more high in carbohydrates. So because they've grown up eating rice every day, it's a basic standard part of their daily diet, rice. So it's hard for them to change and to get away from that. But the only thing I can say to people, you must try short term. It's so important to try short. And then what happens when you bring your sugar levels down, your body comes back to normal, then you can go back and have your rice, but have it in moderation. That's the next key thing. Have it in moderation. How many times do we go to an event? We have a buffet. We have all the potato, the rice, and then we fill our plate with it.
Yeah.
You know, I think sometimes at events, when we go to events, we will have smaller plates. And then if there's food left over, we say, anybody wants seconds? Come and get seconds.
You know what it is? It's a money aspect. With certain man, when they put down a certain money for an event, they want to eat their whole place out, you know, to feel so they get their money's worth.
Yeah, I know that. But sometimes, you know, sometimes you go to events, no disrespect, you go to a funeral, you ain't paying for that food, but you still pull your plate. You see what I'm saying? And I've been to enough funerals where I've been for seconds because you can go for it because it's there.
Yeah, that's it.
You know? I've been to some funerals where you go there and the food run out.
I think the problem is we've got a problem with that we're too good at cooking as well. That's the next problem, you know.
Food stays too nice, you know what I mean? You know?
Yeah. But yeah. I think one of the things that we need to, especially if you're diabetic, if you want to reverse your diabetes, set yourself a goal. Say, okay, I'm going to reduce this. I'm going to reduce this in my diet. I'm going to exercise. And once you've done certain things, at the end of the month, reward yourself with it. So at the end of the month, you can say, okay, I could have a small lemon tart, or I could have a piece of macaroni cheese, because I haven't had it all month. So I'm going to reward myself for achieving something.
Sorry to cut you again. How long are you short term? Because you said short term, but how long are you short?
The short term depends on what goal you set with your blood sugars. You see, for example, my blood sugars when I was diagnosed was 92. Yeah. At the beginning, I didn't realize what I needed to go down to. So I was just working for the first 25 days just to get my sugars down, cut out everything. And I was just going like a madman, not eating, exercising and doing everything. And when I got down to 77, within 25 days, I thought to myself, okay, 77. Let me set myself a goal now. And my next goal was to go down to 50s.
Right, so yeah? Can you just, again, what is a normal level and what's excessive level?
The normal level is 42.
Right, 42.
Yeah, that's the normal level for HbA1c.
What's HbA1c?
HbA1c is when they monitor your blood sugars for the last 3 months.
Right.
Yeah, so that gives you the reading if you're diabetic or not.
Oh, I see, right.
So if you're 42 and above, that means you're diabetic.
Right.
If you're 42 and below, then you're not. Yeah, so that they work it in different ways, in different percentages as well.
Right.
They do, which is interesting. So, like for example, when I was at 77, I said to myself, my next goal now is to get down to 50s, get into the 50s. But I eat 60, which is unfortunate, but that was my goal, 50s. So 60 was good, but I wanted 50. You know, and then after that, my next goal was to get down as much as possible. And so from there, from another 28 days to 105 days, I totally reversed my type 2 diabetes. I went down to 41, which was below the normal.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've done it in 105 days just by discipline.
And your book, your book, does it give insights into this then, yeah?
Yes, it does. My book tells you everything that I've done, but my book doesn't give you some of the things that I've been taking after that, or talking to people about after that. Because so many people come up to me afterwards and say, oh, try this, you try that, have you heard about this? I've had people phoning me from Jamaica and say, have you tried sorrel? Have you tried soursop? Have you tried mango leaves? All different things. I'm thinking, wow, no, I didn't. You know?
Just want to say, sorry to cut again. Did something happen to our diet? Why did our diet change? Did we always used to eat like this, or was there something that happened to us? Why our diet's causing all of this?
That's a very good question.
Our diet changed so much now because, unfortunately, there's hidden ingredients in lots of foods that we have now.
You know, son, that's a very good question. Jamus asked, because, if you observe other race of people, right, doesn't matter where they go, they always bring their diet, they always bring their culture and their food, right? And when we was kidnapped and taken to to the Caribbean and you know, other part of the world, right? We didn't bring our diet,
natural food.
You see what I'm
Yes.
saying? So that's a very good question you bring there. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a very good question. You know. Very good
And I
question.
think what a part of it as well, they've engineered, you know, it's an addiction. What to affect our tongue, basically. We're basically
Salt and sugar.
Salt and sugar.
yeah. It's not our
Salt.
because we used to be scientists where you use your mind before you eat and you see what the effect is. But now we're addicted to the taste. And I break down words. Taste means to haste. You're running because that addiction thing on your tongue is making you eat the food. So you're not eating in relation to any sense. You're just eating to this tongue.
Yes. It's funny because one of my weaknesses was and still is digestive biscuits. And when I've been working, they bought some digestive biscuits which were cheap ones. And when I taste the cheap ones, you can taste the sugar. It's not even a biscuit. But sometimes when you buy the more better one, there's less sugar in it. Still a lot of sugar, but less. But you can taste the actual ingredients that's in it. There's a difference.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is that there's sugar in everything. There's sugar in medicine. You know,
I know.
Sugar in everything. You see, one of the biggest con, right? Red Bull, right? What's in Red Bull? It's just pure sugar in it. Pure sugar, right? And Lucozade and all them something. Pure sugar in them something. See?
Yeah.
So I mean, and the thing is that your body do need sugar, but you need the natural sugar that has to come from the fruits and the veg and etc.
Yes.
See? Yeah. So
I mean, a typical example of me, when I was looking back at my history of my food habits, back in the 90s, we used to have family that was living in Ramsgate. And about every month we would do a trip down here, and it used to be like an hour and a half drive down to Ramsgate. I used to buy 2 bags of Jelly Babies to eat on the way down there.
Yeah.
So I'd be sitting in the car, I'll open one bag, I think it's about 190 grams bag or something like that, and I'll eat that and I'll finish that by the time I get down there, because I wanted that energy so that I don't fall asleep driving. So just think psychologically, I'm thinking the sugar that in the Jelly Babies is going to keep me awake. The energy level.
But you know something. Sometimes we do some crazy things, you know. But because we don't know no better. I remember when we was young, we have pineapple, which is sweet, right? And still, because of our ignorance, right, we still put sugar upon the damn pineapple fruit.
They still do it. I've been working for a company. They grill the pineapple and then they put brown sugar on it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. When I was younger, we used to have sugar water. Just think, we used to have sugar water.
And that's it. We don't really. This is because the pharmaceutical companies and it's drugs basically, you know. And the thing is, they color it by putting a label on it. The label don't give you what it really is, and this is what makes us susceptible to addiction, because addiction is what somebody says, you know. So basically, you go to chocolate, but you don't go to the ingredients that make it. If you knew what the ingredients was, instead of the label that's put it, then that would make you stop eating it. You know what I mean? When you see it's bicarbonate of soda, acid, nobody's going to spend their money to buy acid to eat. You know, so that's why we have to start to retrain our brain to look at the ingredients to see what we're really putting in our mouth.
But you see, the thing is that because we're so addictive, right? I mean, right? It says on the packet of cigarettes that smoking kills. It says it. And people spend the last 10 pounds. So what is it about? The cigarette says it kill you. You know, what is it about the mind, the emotions side? You're going to buy something. Because no one in the right mind, if I'm gonna kill you.
You're not gonna go there. You're not gonna go there. That shows a serious level of that is this how this thing's got.
This thing's happens. You see what I'm saying? You know. Yeah. So it just shows you about the mind. It's like Todd Africa said that we're digging our grave with our teeth. We're literally digging our grave with our teeth. You see, so a lot of it do with the mind, as Jams is saying, and what you're saying as well, and the emotions behind it. So that's why we've really got to. And with you now, you're a success story because you've disciplined yourself, conditioned yourself now, and you reverse the process. You see, and a lot of do. I feel we have created an environment really, because some people, like or not, we have to take them by their hand, right, and get them at this kind of madness they're in, because it is madness, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you check it, you know, you're eating for what? Entertainment or comfort? You're not really eating, you know, to enhance your bodily functions, and that's the problem. As you say, it's the mindset that we've got. This eating mechanism where you're going to eat pizza just because of football or stuff, all of this. You close your mind, you know, to what you're putting in your mouth, you know.
But you see, to run away said though, Jammers, that I mean, your food should be a medicine and the medicine should be a food. Mm-hmm. See? So it is about the mindset, you know, because what we're eating for. Because we eat for comfort, enjoyment, you know.
Certain people got a car. Yeah. And you can't even touch that car, put your handprint on the car.
Yeah.
You know, but they don't care what you put in your mouth. You see what I'm saying? You're not checking the label, you're just throwing it in. But the car, you know, if it's a diesel, you just put in diesel. If it's petrol, you just put in petrol in the car if you want the car to function.
Yes.
You know? So that's where we're at. And, you know, it's a lot of the mindset and the emotions and etc. and where we've been brought up, where we've been conditioned and etc. You know? So... Yeah,
it's a tough. It's very, very tough. Don't get me wrong. It's not an easy thing to do because we're so disciplined in a way that we are at the moment. To change is hard, but we have to program ourselves that we can change. We got to program ourselves on a day-to-day basis that we can change. It's like having an affirmation and look in the mirror and say, I want to reverse my diabetes. What do I need to do? What's my sugar levels? I can do it. I will do it. I want to be healthy. I will be healthy. Let me do it. Let me get started. You know, affirmations we have to say to ourselves on a regular basis. You know, it's because we're talking to ourselves, but we have to talk to ourselves in a way that is going to affect us in a positive way.
Good.
I think it's even more critical than that. I think we're addicted to soft drugs, you know, which is sweets, chocolates, sugar, you know. And because they show us hard drugs like cocaine, alcohol, cigarette, we think we're all right, you know. So we think we're all right, but we're addicted. It's a soft drug that we're taking.
No, but you see, the thing is this, Jammers, that I mean, if you're addicted with crack cocaine, you can go to a rehab. Right, addicted on sugar. Where are you going
it's
to?
the industry, so they want to maintain that.
You see,
one.
They maintain that one.
Yeah,
they see what I'm saying. So you know what I mean? So they got you hooked up anyway. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's what I'm saying is we're at crisis level. You know, it's essential that we follow what you're putting out there. You know, to our livelihood. You know.
Yeah, but this is one of the reasons why I go out and I meet people. I do events. It's not because I want to or I need to. It's because I meet so many people in the beginning when I've done events, and they always come up to me and talk to me, and they tell me their issues, and they really want to change. And so many people out there that do want to change, they want to meet somebody like myself who's done it.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you can't meet somebody who's done it, you don't feel you can do it because nobody's showing you any different. Don't forget, when I was diagnosed with diabetes, the first thing my dietitian went for was the metformin, the medication straight away.
What is what is that metformin? Is it what's that do?
I think we're gonna have to wind it down after 5 more minutes. We've got some other callers.
Yeah, we've got a couple more. Metformin, very quick. What's that?
Metformin is another form of tablet to help you reduce the blood sugars.
Reduce the blood sugar, yeah.
Blood sugar, yeah.
Okay then.
So this is what happens. People use a tablet and they carry on eating normally.
Oh, so they still take metformin, still eat it. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So they think the tablet's going to help them, but because it's going to help them, I can carry on living my life the way I am. what I'm saying?
Okay, then. Okay, well, listen. I wonder if you can just quickly let people know when getting booked from. We did say everywhere, but is there a website or?
Yeah, my website. My website is lyndonwissart.com. Lyndon, Lyndon, Wissart, WISS for sugar, ART.com. You can also get it on Amazon. You can get it in the bookshops as well. You can get my book in the library as well.
Okay,
you can.
Fantastic.
In all libraries. Just ask for it. Because this is the point I wanted to make to everybody. It's accessible. It's on. You can get my book on the app as well. So if you want direct information instantly, you can register and get it on the app. App. What else is on? It's on so many things. It's accessible to. And I got an event coming up next week with Errol, actually, on the Sunday the 27th of May. At
is it Orient Football Ground or something?
It's Leighton Orient Football Ground, Matchroom Ground. Yeah,
I'll
be there. That's on the 27th of May. Yeah,
I know.
Because that's a good thing to promote. And also, if anybody's in the Luton area, I'm going to be in Luton on the 3rd of June. I will be up north there. I'm doing an event there as well.
Okay.
Talking about that.
Okay,
yeah, but brilliant.
My brother, again, we want to give thanks for you again for your busy schedule to share some valuable information. So give thanks.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for
having me.
Thanks for enlightening us here at Bless Radio. There, on behalf of Bless and the community, I'd like to thank you for your.
Yeah, I thank Bless Radio for having me on as well. I appreciate it. Just keep sharing.
Give thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, one love.
Okay, take care.
Take care.
It's serious.
Okay, then. That's serious, brother.
Yeah, I mean,
brother.
When I say we're at crisis, what we have to realise it's not hunger. We're having cold turkey. You know, I think we've got another caller coming through. Is that? Oh no. So it's not hunger. It's cold turkey, and we think we're free. But one thing that they've still captures is our tongue. Our tongue is still a slave to the latest product that they put up on TV.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Next caller coming through.
Greetings. Okay, feel free to phone in.
Can you call back?
I think we just lost you.
I'm still here. I can hear you quite clearly, brother Dougie.
That voice sounds a bit familiar. Where have I heard that voice before?
Yes, I've got one of those friendly voices, haven't I?
Okay then.
Yeah.
Pascal Stevens.
Pascal,
fantastic.
Pascal, you good?
Yeah, I'm alive and well, man. What about you?
Everybody's good here, man. Everybody's good. So I want to roast quickly with you now because we've got a few minutes left if you want to utilize those time. And earlier on we was talking with Brother Lyndon, who I think you know quite well, yes?
Yes, Lyndon Wissart, yes.
That's right. And he was talking about diabetes and etc.
Yes.
Because I wanted to touch on that because it happens that you reverse your challenge with your thing about diabetes, as well as talking about your thing about prostate. But what did you do to reverse your thing about diabetes?
Well, I just changed my diet around, and this was back in 2006. I lost some weight as well.
How did you manage to? We're talking about mindset. So, what was the inspiration that enabled you to put your mind to actually do that change?
Well, if I put my mind to anything, I'll do it. I'm not shy in putting my mind to strange things. But when I was diagnosed with diabetes, I knew I wasn't going to take the go-to tablet, which is metformin.
Metformin, yeah.
That comes with some horrendous side effects. And I, just being a natural person, I just decided to get rid of it naturally. Which I did to the surprise of my GP.
But from what I can understand, when people take what's it called, metformin, right?
Metformin, yes.
Metformin. People still carry this. They're still lifestyle, still eat the same habits. They don't really change at all, do they?
Yeah.
Right.
They take the metformin. The metformin, controls the diabetes, but the same food and diet that gave them the disease in the first place,
they still go back to it.
They don't change.
They don't change the world. Yes. So they
must. Yeah, and this is why, after a while, the metformin isn't working as effectively as it should, and then they may have to start injecting themselves, similar to a type 1 diabetic.
Right. Okay then. Well, okay.
It's a very nasty disease, but very easy to get rid of if you put your mind to it.
Well, I mean, yourself is an example, and obviously Lyndon is it's an example. So it's not like say it can't be reversed. There's many people out there, can reverse it. It's the mindset and the discipline and the will.
And discipline, yes.
Yeah, and the discipline. Will. But I want to jump forward now, because earlier on we were talking about the whole thing about the prostate. And I was playing a recording touching the whole thing about the prostate. And in fact I had a very healthy conversation with Auntie Jean, because she reminded each other and reminded us that when she had an event over South London, somewhere deep in South London, I can't remember the place was, yourself and Errol McKellar, I've called him Sir soon, did a presentation talking about the prostate. And out of that, information we got is that 1 out of every 4 black men have prostate. Right.
And prostate problems, yes.
Prostate problems. Cancer, right?
Right, and I believe that's coming down. It's going to be 1.3 very soon from now.
God, that's serious, man.
All the diseases are on the increase, despite what we hear in the mainstream. And they're showing up the younger people.
Well, and find out, I did say earlier on, and you did bring it to our attention when I spoke, was at Sky TV, that was it you or it might have been Errol, Errol, I think it might have been Errol mentioned that there was a young person, age of 36, who was a victim of prostate cancer, yeah?
Yes, he died of prostate cancer, according to Errol,
Yeah. Just shows you. So, what we're saying that people in their 30s are dying with prostate cancer.
Well, that bears up my point that these diseases are showing up in younger people.
Right.
Yeah.
And
so we've got to try and bridge that gap between the old timers and the younger generation.
Okay then.
Just try and get them to listen and take action.
But what I want to do here, I mean, and this, you might be like one of them video recorder. You might say, Doggy, those are asking these questions over and over again. How can we reverse the prostate cancer? Now, what I'm saying is this, right? 1 out of every 3 black men has got prostate cancer. Right?
Yeah.
It's 1 every 4, but coming to 1 every 3, right? At the age of 30, in the 30s now, right? Black men in the 30s have got prostate cancer. Right? So obviously we're not doing something. Something, think about it. Something's wrong. See?
Well, we're working on the premise
Go on.
that prevention is better than cure, and the cure to every disease lies in your diet. Then obviously their diet is wrong.
Today we had a lot of people from America.
Sorry, say that bit again there.
I'm saying that the cure to every disease lies in your diet.
Yeah.
And if they're getting all these diseases, then obviously the diet and to some extent the lifestyle is wrong. So they have to look at their diet very closely and cut out what is not helpful to the body and bring in certain herbs, spices, and vegetables. A plant-based diet, basically.
Well, we see, and what's interesting at all of this, because I mean, myself now, I'm working closely with Errol now, yourself, and some other people, even Linda, who phoned earlier on, and there's many of them out there, right? And we want to create a revolution movement now where we start to. The objective really is to bring awareness, a health awareness to our people in the community, because,
well, you've been doing this for donkey's years now,
but you see, the things, I want to work with some serious people now. Like, I mean, Errol, it was amazing drive. Now, and I'm glad I'm connecting with him, yourself, and some other people now. And I want to start speaking to people like Stephen Sally and so forth, and really create a big drive now. But the question I'm going to ask you now, right? That what do you think it'd take for us to really get ourselves shaken up a little bit? Or I mean, I don't know what to say really. I just want to throw it into you. What do you think it'd take to really move us? You know?
Oh, that's a very good question, and I wish I could answer it. I honestly do not know what it's going to take to make black guys, especially younger ones, wake up to the realization that they are not as macho or fit as they think they are. Some kind of split mixing has got to happen. Because we are just drifting along in life, enjoying the physical aspect of it to some degree, ignoring signs and symptoms, and then a degenerative disease is diagnosed. And even when it's diagnosed, we don't follow certain principles and guidelines as to how to deal with it and treat it.
Right. Okay then. I know you've got a website, because I've been there a few times. Let people know about your website.
Yeah, it is blackhealth.co.uk, and it's chock full of information, including the Black Health Archives, which has information going back to 2014.
And I just want to say that I was reading through some information you gave me today on the train, and I said to myself, I was going to ask some questions because of time. I don't want to get bogged down the technical side of stuff, but the information you share with me, right? I want to be wise to let people know the person. How do you got that information as well?
How I got this information?
Yeah, the information you shared with me, you gave to me today. Is it Japanese?
Well, don't forget, I research quite a lot. And I have some impeccable sources who for years and years have been sending me cutting-edge information, even before it reaches the public. So when I come up with something, people may be hearing it for the first time and may wonder where I got it from. But I don't put information in the public domain until I am satisfied within myself that it is accurate and true information. Right? But you'll notice that from what I gave you today, that the emphasis is about plant-based diet.
Yeah.
That's the emphasis. Yes.
Yeah.
And certain foods like tomatoes and pomegranates and cayenne pepper, and turmeric, they all benefit the body, the prostate.
Okay, because before Jammer's point, I want to ask a question. One of the things I think we should be doing, and more of a practical level, that we need to do a workshop around the prostate and have you to bring in the fruits, the vegetables, and this should guide us through. This is what we should be taking, and so people can start take responsibility. Because I do believe that some people need to be taken by the hand. Some people need to box in them neck back and say, "Look here, don't tell them I'm gonna beat you in your neck back."
I agree with you there. I give you a joke. I was talking to a brother from outside of London. Yes. Yesterday, he phoned me up. He's bought a coconut, and he's asked me what to do with it. How does he break it? How does he open it up? A coconut. So some people have got to be held by the hand.
So, Jeff, you got any question you want to ask?
Just got one question.
Yes.
When can we have you back in the studio? Because there's too many. You've got too much information to
Give me a time and a date, and I will make myself available.
That's great. Okay, we'll speak off air, and then we can arrange that. Because just I'd like to thank you for the work and the wonderful contribution you're making to us as a people.
Thank you so much. As long as I have breath and life in my body, I will be doing something to help.
Respect every time.
Vasco, big up your status, man. We love you, man.
All right, you take care. Have a good night, yeah?
Yeah, man.
Okay, guys. Cheers.
Fabulous, and we'd really need to get him back in the studio. Just like to play something. There's a current event that's taking place right now. If you're not aware of, you need to make your way there right now.
This is the King's Peace Treaty. I will never put no European geographical landmark before my brother. When anyone comes as a stranger from a neighboring area, I will embrace him and treat him like a king. I will not go in any man's area and promote violence in protest to promote my area. When I see a black man on the street, I will hail and acknowledge him in respect of the suffering we and my brother. This is the King's Peace Treaty. I will never put no European geographical landmark before my brother. When anyone comes as a stranger from a neighboring area, I will embrace him and treat him like a king. I will not go in any man's area and promote violence in protest to promote my area. When I see a black man on the street, I will hail and acknowledge him in respect of the suffering we and our ancestors have faced for centuries. I will look at no black man as a king. I will look at no black woman as less than a queen, because the black woman is the mother of all civilization and we must protect her. I will link up with every man from every ends to build my people and to build a better earth for our future generations. This is the King's Peace Treaty.
And I've got to big up Brother Israel. Doing a wonderful job out there, uniting the community. He's got an event taking place right now. So if you're in the area or if you've got time to get down there, the event is called the King's Peace Treaty, bringing our community together. The host is Peaches from the Womanhood Academy. Guest speakers are Raspek Jedi, Master Abu Hakim Muhammad, Courtney Brown, Twilight Bay, Minister Malek, Nana Access UK, and Israel Emmanuel. The venue is right now taking place at Parkview Academy, West Green Road. That's N15 3QR, and it's taking place right now. And from 7 p.m. till 10 p.m. It's bringing our community together, the King's Peace Treaty. And I was with the brother yesterday, and he's doing wonderful work. And this is what we need to do. We need to start to support people who are currently doing work for the community. You might not think they're perfect, but if they're doing something for the community, invest some time, some attention, or even just share. You know, if you see an email or an event taking place by them, this is what we need to do as a community. Yes, Dougie.
Absolutely. So one big up to Israel every single time.
I just want to, Gilbert, you were saying about what we need to do to change our eating habits or whatever. I think what is needed is we need to change our state of consciousness. You know, we're getting we're in the condition where we're in because we're following another person's mentality, another person's psyche, another person's way of life, and it's the punishment that we're under until we return to our ancient Kemetic principles. You know, we are not going to be able to rise as a people, and this is the message that is really happening. We're in the condition we are today because, as you quite rightly say, we're following somebody else's culture. Every race of people brings their culture with them, you know. But we for whatever reason, we've forsaken our culture, and this is the punishment that we're under.
And just to write on that, Jammers, and I'm going to make something, bring it home. If you observe Chinese people, because I've been to Spain, Madrid, and you see some Chinese restaurants, right? Even in America or wherever, or in the Caribbean, or you see China. So that's why where you go, they bring for them their culture and for them food. Same like Italians, Europeans, Indian. It's us. So we shouldn't be surprised, right? If we think about it, why we're very vulnerable. That's the right word.
And if you look at every animal, every insect, a bee is always a bee. It eats a certain food, it acts a certain way. If a bee tries to act like an ant, it will find that it's not gonna be able to function in the correct manner, and that's what's happening to us.
That's very powerful. Say that again. I want people to understand what we said. If a bee tries to eat the food of an ant or tries to act like an ant, it's not going to be able to function to its true potential. See. Because it's following something else.
Somebody else's way, somebody else's agenda, and in relation to our DNA, our genetic makeup, our melanin content, our ability to absorb sunlight, and our unique abilities, both physically and psychologically and psychically. If we're not acting in a way to maintain that manner, we are not going to be able to release our full potential. They say a dolphin has full consciousness. It uses both parts of its brain to 100%. And it's analysed us as a people, we're mainly just using 10%. Imagine if we can even just increase that by 50%, what we'll be able to do.
And it's quite interesting as you're reasoning with us on that level there, James, because I was reading more in winter, right? It was a herbalist, right? And when she first started off, as a herbalist, right? One thing she had to do, when she was training or whatever, she had to go other part of some part of America and do some research and examine certain herbs and everything, right? But she gets to realize the herbs didn't really have that effect on certain people in Jamaica. It's only when alarm bells start ringing. She said, weird, I'm from Jamaica. The people from Jamaica want to examine the herbs in Jamaica and work on our people. And that's when she started getting better results. You see what I'm saying? But it comes back to what you're saying earlier on, right? It's how we've been programmed, right? And to some extent, I wouldn't say, somewhere I've been programmed somewhere, and obviously we don't really know no better, but it makes more sense to examine the herbs in your country, from your environment, and let people take the herbs from there. See?
And that's it, and follow the principles of your own self, because look at the days of the week we're calling on Monday, which is the moon, Tuesday, which is, and Thursday, which is a Greek god, Friday, which is another Greek god. So basically, even the things around us, we're not connecting with our Kemetic principles. And when you check it, every other race of people, when you look at like the Jews, you look at China, you look at India, look where they're getting their principles from, and they're getting them from us. They're getting them from us. They're getting them from ancient philosophies of Hermes. They call the Greeks call it Hermes, but it comes from Tahuti. It comes from Thoth. It comes from our ancient Kemetic principles. Our divine science is what is making every other race of people function. So they're following us, and we're following them who are following us. I'll give you one for instance. When you try to define the undefinable, you turn it into a person, So, for instance, the divine nature, you personify it and put it into a person, like you say your father. So you take our divine nature, you turn it into you give it feet, you'll give it a face, and you make it look like you, because the ancient principle of passing on information was a story. So I'll give you for instance. You say, our Father in heaven, so you must be the Son. A carrot can only have another carrot. A dog can only have another dog. An eagle can only have another eagle. So if you're calling on your Father, you must be the Son. So whatever in the Father, you have the same energy in you. Otherwise, you cannot be calling on your Father if you're the Son. So basically, what is above, so is below. So let me break down supreme being. supreme being. Sup is what you drink, like in sup is drink, or you sup from a cup. Reem is a dimension. So when you say Reem is a dimension, so you're drinking from a dimension when you say supreme. Then you say, where is this dimension? Be in. It's being in you. So basically, when you want to get into a higher power, you've got to look into yourself. The ancient Kemetic principles was life, the word, and light. So I'll break down a bit of the ancient Kemetic principles. So you've got to go into yourself to find your divine nature. How you go into yourself was in the form of the word. When you say a word, a word goes through space. It goes into a mind. What is your mind? A mind is a dark place where you've got to go into to get out information. This is what the mind is. So you say your word, which is a thought process, to go into the mind at the dark place. When it goes into the dark place, you come out with a reason. Look at the word reason. You see the word sun in it. So basically, you come out with the sun. So you separate the dark. You separate the light from the dark. And then you get to the truth. You go into your mind with a word. See, this is the real breakdown of what the Bible, in the beginning was the word. In the beginning is your word, which is your thought process that goes into the darkness of your mind. It brings out the sun, which is the reason that brings you to the truth. The truth is the universe. The universe is what you say to get you into the right way of thinking. One sound, verse, that stops you from serving the wrong thing. Look at the word verse. You see the word serving, the word verse. S-E-R-V-E is serve. You change the letter around, you get the word verse. So you go into your dark place, you separate the light with a word, you bring it forth the light, which is called reason, till you get to the truth.
And that's come from the power of the wordsmith Jammers, who's spent many years studying words. That's why he's able to flow in that way, because of the studying he's been working on.
So that's basically how you access your divine nature, is with a thought, which is the word. You go into a dark place and you separate the dark, bring forth the light, which is the truth. So you go into yourself to bring forth the light. The problem is, this is what happened to us. We saw a shadow of ourselves. We saw a reflection of ourselves. Then we fell in love with the reflection. The reflection is something that is physical, something that is going to die, something that is going to be destroyed, and we want to make it permanent. So basically, you see yourself as a person, or you see something else, and you try to maintain your look. You try to maintain that which is going to perish. Once you fall in love with yourself, or how you look, or how somebody else's look, you bring all these things on you. You bring forth limitation, because everything that you fall in love with has a limitation. You bring forth a passion, because you have a love for something. You bring forth craftiness, because you have to move to that thing that you love in a certain way. You bring forth ambition, because you want to move to that thing. Then you bring forth rash behavior, because you want to get that thing in a certain way. And then you bring forth wealth, because you need money to purchase this exterior. You want your false hair, you want your false breasts, you want your false, you want your muscles, you want to maintain your looks, and then it brings forth falsehood and destruction at the end. Yeah. But John, I also want to write another thing about you bring everything about culture, and one of the things Dr. Africa made it quite clear, said that for us to be effective in a barbaric environment, we need to be living our culture, and not only living our culture, but practicing our rituals, right? Every race of people is planning to practice for them rituals, Guy Fawkes, Halloween, Christmas, Easter, and all kind of something they practice, right? And I just want to practice. We need to practice our rituals, our culture. Yes, Jerry, come. I just want to get back to when you practice it's not just a maneuver that you got to pray 5 times. That's not your ritual. Is how to get back in tune to your nature, because when you get back in tune to your nature, you will be able to move with your nature. Remember, so your body will replace all its cells every 7 years. but it also replaces all the tissues. In 7 years, you have a completely new body. So basically, if we was in tune with our nature, we would be a self-repairing and self-sustaining vehicle, a creation. Your colon, for instance, refreshes after only 4 days. You get entirely new skin every 2 to 3 weeks. White blood cells take more than a year to regenerate, and it takes an average 10 years to grow an entirely new skeleton. So your body will actually renew itself when you perform the right rituals with your nature.
And when we talk about rituals and practicing nature, what Jam is talking about, we're talking about simple things like going in the park, glazing in the sun. What that does, it brings energy. Going in the park barefoot, so you're drawing the energy, magnetic energy from the ground into your body. Just playing with nature, just touching the leaves, observe. It does so much for the mind, because you're going back into nature. You're going back, as the brother said, back into oneself and tuned into oneself. And these are the kind of things we should be practicing on a daily basis. 5, 10, 15, how long does it take? Half an hour, whatever it can be. And the more you do that, right, because it's more of a meditation as well, but going back into oneself, because as James has said, we're in a stressful environment, but we can reverse it by going back into nature.
That's right. Once, as I said, as we were saying, your Kemetic principle is your higher inner self. Your inner self, you can ask thoughts, and you'll give yourself your answers. But once you attach yourself to the physical, as I said, it's going to bring down a whole lot of other energies on you. Where you try to maintain something that's not permanent, your hair, your looks, your health in a certain way, then you're trying to compete with somebody else, and you leave your spiritual to try to maintain your physical, and it's just a path of destruction, and as Dougie was saying, it's active consciousness, so consciousness of your vibration, how things vibrate, consciousness of duality, how you move in relation to certain things, consciousness of the power that you can give to other people, consciousness of your male and female energies. So there's active levels of consciousness, how you breathe, conscious of being conscious. You see, this is what we need to activate ourselves to change our state, as Doug, the question that Doug was asking, to move away from basic addiction to basic chemicals that they've given us to consume to keep maintaining their profit margin.
And also, to ride off what Jam was just saying, that it's also about raising our vibration, raising our chakras, right? Because at the moment, we're operating from the root chakra, from the base chakra. We need to raise our chakra to the crown chakra. So we're talking about, yes, meditation, yes, nature, yes, eating more healthy, conscious vibes, thoughts, think positively, affirmation, yeah, and then you're raising your vibration, and then once you raise your vibration and the other person on a certain kind of vibration, you attract that person to you. So it's about raising our vibration, see, because at the moment we're operating from the base level, from the root chakra, and that's why we're behaving a bit over the place a little bit. And these are the kind of things we'll be doing, and and as the brother said, this is us. That's what we're about. Vibration. That's right. As I said, we're supreme beings, up from the realm that be's in you, and then you create your own universe. When you go into your mind, you ask the word, use your word to ask the question, to bring out the reason that gives you to the truth. Listen what I'm saying. Behave oral. So when you go into yourself, it shows you how you're supposed to behave. Don't listen to how somebody else tells you how to behave, which is either superior oratory or inferior oratory. Remember, behave oral. So when you watch the TV, it's showing you a behavior of somebody else. And also that Jam was talking about the university, yeah?
universe, which is the one sound that you get when you ask the question. You get a universe, which is one saying, one script, one form of behavior. You'll ask the question, why is this always happening to me? And you will get an answer. I need to do that. That is a universe. Listen to the word universe. It is one saying that's going to get you through to the truth.
See it there. So that is why, we need to be in tune all the time. And it's all about moving to the inner truth, the inner voice, because the inner voice, inner truth is always talking to us, right? But we need to open up. Our ancestors are always talking to us. They're not leaving us. They're always talking to us. But we just have to open up to the higher power.
We mentioned a new word last week where people are moving on emotion, which is when someone outside you is putting emotion. We've got the word in motion. So basically you've got to put yourself in motion to what your universe, what the saying in your head is telling you to do. Behave oral. Put yourself in motion. Evoke the behavior that you want to manifest the reality, because it's mind with matter. Your mind can make matter move. But we've been taught to think abstract. We've been taught to daydream. We've been taught to fantasize instead of making out. Remember, it's a mindset. Once you set your mind in a certain way, things happen.
Absolutely. And also I want to run your thing about TV, right? What Jammers was bringing to the reason and the consciousness, right? Think about this, right? If you watch TV 7 days a week, right? I guarantee, anyone in the stations there, most of the stations there, right? They be sad about violence. Someone that get murdered, killed, woman that get raped, and all kind of something. Because you ask yourself, right, what is it in that person's mind? Why they want to produce a program what's very nasty and negative and keep you dark? That's not us. That's not about us. See? So that's why I'm just saying that, we need to get back into our true self. Because what they're dealing with is some kind of dark ritual spirit.
And also it's called mind control and hypnosis. The idea that James Baldwin, who studied hypnosis, came out with the idea of monoideism, where basically you focus on one idea and you become hypnotized and entranced by an idea. As Brother Doug was saying, when you see so much killings, because I don't really watch films, so where I'm living now, I see the Western movie, and when I see someone shoot somebody, I'm jumping. I'm jumping because I can't believe what I'm seeing. But people are so desensitized, and that's where they've got passive consciousness. They're stuck in a trance on a monoideism, one idea. They're fixated on it that they lose their sense of active consciousness.
But just show how powerful the subconscious is, right? Because as the brother said, and I've seen it, where even though it's not real, you still get jumpy and frightened. Right? But don't forget, right? Your mind doesn't know the difference between the real and unreal. And that's where they get us from the subconscious. See? That is why it's very important, what James is saying, is to guide our mind all the time. Let me show how powerful the mind is, right?
And big up Mantis, who's saying it's a great show. Big up Mantis every time.
Every time. Big up the status every time. Let me show how powerful the mind is, right? Right? I remember a few years ago, James wouldn't believe, right? I watched something on TV, right? And I look upon them woman there, right? I said, weird. The woman look nice, you know what I mean? Right? I don't know that. I know woman them. I'm man them. Right? See? And two tools, you have some woman who will be like man. Right? No then. It just shows you, right? You can will your mind to do anything. Right? You can will your mind to do anything. That's your whole powerful the mind is. At the same time, if you don't guide your mind, as James is saying, right, it can lead to a darkness of some nasty rituals. Right? See? So it's amazing, you know what I mean? The mind and the rituals and the conscious and the subconscious. Everything starts with the mind, the thought of the mind, the thought of words,
And to know yourself is to be free. Basically, what people say know yourself, but they don't tell you what the know is. If you look at a child, as we were saying earlier, the Kemetic principles or Tahuti's principles or the principles of Thoth, the divine element, is when you look into yourself and you ask that question in the darkness, you bring the darkness to the light, which is the reason, the son of the reason or the person, you find the truth. And with that, you are free. You look at a child, the child will go and look and analyze things and make its own way in life. Once the child becomes conscious of how it looks and how it compares itself to somebody else, remember, a compare is what you say. So I'll look at somebody, and because they've got a big car, I'll compare. That means I'll have a voice that will come to me, and then I'll now become a slave because I'm comparing myself to someone else and I want to be like somebody else. So you become a slave when you start to let somebody else guide your mind instead of you looking into your mind and guiding your mind for yourself.
Everything starts from self. Okay, then, what I want to do, as we're talking about the mind and the subconscious, because it all ties in, the thoughts, everything, and we'll touch a little about the whole thing about diabetes and prostate cancer, and the whole thing about the thoughts of a mind and the lifestyle of diet. Let's be clear, it's a holistic approach. I'm going to say that again. It is a holistic approach. So what I want to do, I want to play a little bit more clip, so get people into the right.
And I'm going to have to head out of this one, but Doug, you really steered the plane today. You know, I like the way you organise everything. I have to say something as well. Basically, today, you know, I was late because I put one of them, the earbuds in my ear, and the bud got stuck in my ear. You know, because I wasn't paying attention to this divine device that I had. I was on the phone and I put the earbud in. Next thing, the earbud was in my ear, and I had to go to the hospital to get it taken out. And anybody who's got the earbud, reason that they don't call it earbuds anymore, it's called a cotton bud, because basically it's not designed for your ear. So stop using those things near your ear.
So actually taking out your ears today?
Yeah, it was actually in my ear.
Oh, God.
You know, so you got, as I said, we've got to be aware and have it's all about active consciousness now. You've got different levels of consciousness. You can access them, and the Medinetra is about looking at different levels. You know, you can be conscious of how you're sitting down. You can be conscious of your feet. You can be conscious of your breathing. You can be conscious of being consciousness. But they've got you on a passive consciousness where, as Dougie was saying, you're addicted to watching what's in front of your face. Hypnotized. It's called hypnosis, monoideism, which is hypnosis.
Okay then. So, as you know,
thank you, Dougie. People, I've got to move out. Also, just to remind you to go to this event taking place, Parkview Academy. Also, this next Speakers Club. Thanks for everybody making Speakers Club the number one on YouTube. You can go to the Speakers Club on YouTube to keep updated. And our next event is taking next week Sunday. Thank you.
Is it next week Sunday?
Next week Saturday, not this week Sunday. 27th. The 27th. Okay. 27th at Parkview Academy.
Parkview Academy or Bernie Grant?
Oh, Bernie Grant. I'm getting confused. Bernie Grant, yeah. Bernie Grant. I'm not being conscious.
Okay, then. All right, then.
Big up community. Jammers out. Peace out.
Okay, then. So, again, we had the great man, the Master Jammers inside the house. So, I'm going to play a little bit more of the clip of this.
Oh, sorry. Just before you do, 2 shows to be aware of is Siam on Bless every Tuesday, and that's from, I believe it's from 6 till 8 every Tuesday, and also Raz McCoy every Thursday from 12 to 2. Also Raggedy comes on after that. So big up all the conscious, all the people on Bless. Okay, all the presenters and all the family, all presenters, everybody. Big up also Abu Galaxy, also Dougie yourself, and everybody. And James has got an event next week on Windrush. That's going to be taking place at Uptown Cuisine. Thank you.
Okay then, give thanks to the great man, Jammers, and this Jam Master Show. What I'm going to play a bit of this, have a break, then we reason for another 15-20 minutes.